Owning the man, Vlog 1. How does one go about owning something? Well, I suppose the first thing to do is go there, set up some sort of space station. Well, let's go do that. And unveiling the first part of the Mun space station. I called it Mun Station 1. That's quite original, eh? I know, terrible. I built this rocket to lift quite large payloads, up to about 20 tons. Not too huge, however it does have enough delta V to get to the Mun and probably back. In fact, I think it weighs most of this, but it was built for larger loads. We are definitely out of control. But first thing, let's get deorbit this thing. Not the entire thing, by the way. I'm just trying to deorbit that big as a transfer stage. So here we are, going to detach the space station itself. This is just the core, by the way. We're obviously going to attach more things to this. Storage things, I believe. Now, talk about storage, let's talk about what we're actually going to do. First off, let's deorbit this. I'm going to smash this into the Mun. Why? It's a waste, and yes, I do hit the space station here. Sorry, Jebediah. But we don't need that. Anyway, what we want to do, we want to own the Mun. How do we go about that? Well, that's just the title, but to own something, you have to have it. So we could own bits of the Mun at the time, and then we could sell that to get more funds that we can go and wine some more of the Mun and then sell more of it, make it more capital. Therefore, we'll own more of the Mun. Then we can go ahead and sort of make our presence felt there on the Mun. So that's why we're sending up these launches. I believe this is sort of like an interstage that is going to attach to the rest of the station. So we're going to bring more storage systems up there. Our first real hiccup in our business venture. No, how can this happen? And since we don't have as much capital, we have to try and make sure that every launch counts. And since this is going to cost us a launch, we'll have to revert back. Well, but we have to save money on the fairing. Mainly because the fairing caused the problem in the first place. Okay, so a bit of a longer talk about here. Right, as we're approaching the space station, first off we have to get into orbit around the Mun, and when you do an intercept around the Mun or anybody, if you're in a higher orbit or you're approaching it, you should go in a higher orbit around that body so that you can that the orbit will catch up to, because anything lower down in the orbit will be orbiting faster, and then you can slow yourself down then to reach your target. Just like I'm doing right by here. Anyway, that aside, that's called intercepts, or rendezvous, I suppose. And yes, we're raced to another stage, but that doesn't matter, because I'm saying I'm making every launch count, and I'm not doing what I'm saying. But I made this one launcher, and I decided I'll use this one launcher to get everything over. Anyway, back to the important talk. I decided to do this more like a vlog. I'm not sure how it's going to be received, or if people are going to like it, or perhaps people are going to think it's awesome. I have no idea. I thought it was cool just making this, so let me know about that. But back to this thing. Right, you can see that we've got docking ports on this. I'm going to be attaching tanks to this, that we can mine stuff off the man, bring it up, and what I really want to do is transfer it back to Kerbin, land it at the KSC, and see what we can sell with it. So I'm going to build a transfer stage, something that we can sacrifice, re-entering the atmosphere, and that has parachutes that will land safely, and see what we can do that way if we can sell the stuff. I'm doing this in sandbox mode. Perhaps I should be doing this in career mode, cheat my way up to the full KSC. So then we have all the facilities, because I don't want to waste time doing that. Skip all the missions, and then see how much money we can have. I don't know, let me know your thoughts on that. Obviously we're using mods. MechJeb is a great help, especially when you do camera angles. And also this music. Yeah, I'm trying to do this like Casey Neistat. I'm not sure if we're going to keep with that, or we're going to change that up. But it depends if you guys like it. But this game visuals is awesome, especially with the mods. You have to admit, EVE or environmental visual enhancement mods, with the camera tools you can get some cool shots for this. Yeah, and by the way, people have been asking me how do I get camera tools. You have to download version 1.2. It still works in 1.3. Yeah, it's awesome. Hopefully it'll still keep on working. As I said, you can get some awesome camera angles in this game. I don't think this was using camera tools though. Yeah, because camera tools will stick to the vessel you're controlling. I decided to target the space station and see my hand at docking manually. But you can see I'm messing this up. It should be quite easy. I've got the nav ball. Should back up. If you have problems like this, just back up a bit. So you have the marker of the target of the docking port on your nav ball. Then slowly go forward, using your prograde vector as a guide on which direction you're going. I've got a mod installed so the red circle is showing the direction I should be pointing. So yeah. Yes, Mark, that's how you should be doing it, not the way you're trying to do right now. This is post-commentary, by the way, if you can't guess. Okay, let's use MechJeb. I told you it was a tool saver. Next thing, I suppose, we'd have to send up some storage tanks. And for that, we're going to use USI, or Amber Space Industries mod, which gives you some awesome shipping containers. They give you these large round balls, and tanks. Well, the balls are tanks, by the way. It's just, the good thing with that mod is you can choose what type of tanks you want, and textures on them as well, so you can colour them differently. And it also adds some weird fuels like carbonite. What is carbonite? Answers on a postcard. Or in the comments below. Is that a real thing? I'm not sure. I believe... Wasn't Han Solo frozen in carbonite? And yes, I didn't hit the station this time. What time did he orbit this? Why are we wasting them, you wondering? Well, those who watch Mind the Man series episode 1 will know. I have to mention by here, because it might be a bit think I'm cheating, I added some of these modules in a live stream, so yeah, that's where they came from. So that is the start of the station, and here comes the reason why we do opening these things and smashing them to the man. Well, it's basic, isn't it? Okay, so it's not basic, okay. So if you're a scientist and you work for NASA, you know that if you impact something, they did it recently with comets, I think they've done it with the moon as well. I'm not 100% sure they've done it with the moon, really, to tell you the truth, but they smash things into the moon. They can then use spectroscopy, which is just basically looking at the vapor that's given off from the high impact, because things get vaporized at high speed impacts, and then you can determine what it's made from. That way we've smashed some multiple probes and we can determine what is in those places. Anyway, if you like this vlog, Mind the Man Part 1, let me know. And tell me if you like the music choices. I thought they were pretty rad.